Hello and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your host, Morgan. Today, I kind of want to sit and chat a little bit. It'll be kind of chill. We're going to talk about some of the field guides that I have because I am obsessed with field guides, some of the stuff that I always have in my day hiking bag, and if you stick around long enough, we're going to talk about the hiking bingo that we're going to be doing since a week from today. We are embarking on a camping trip. Don't worry, there will still be all of our normally scheduled content coming on, and I will be popping into the comment section to respond as often as I possibly can, depending on the cell reception I have. So let's get into this. First of all, we know about me, or I know about me. You all may not know this. I'm a little bit of a nerd, and one of the things that I love is collecting field guides. Now, I don't have many right now because I'm also really picky about the ones that I'll buy, so it takes me a while to settle on something that I like. But I do have an entire Amazon wish list just devoted to field guides that I want because I have a problem. So, two of my favorite field guides that I have are literally just reptile field guides, which might not be surprising since I go by the Reptile Goth. I will put all the names and everything of these field guides down in the description below in case you're interested. One is Lizards of the American Southwest, and it's great. It's all lizards, and I mean, really, what more do you want in life but a bunch of lizards in a field guide? And then the Peterson Field Guide to Western Reptiles and Amphibians. And these are specifically West and Southwest because I happen to live in that region, so it makes sense that I would have field guides for the region that I live in. And I actually bought these as textbooks for a herpetology class that I took a few quarters ago. It was super fun. And I mean, you gotta love a class where your textbook is a field guide. So that was great. And usually if I go hiking in the desert or anything around here, even though this is kind of heavy, I insist on carrying it. Have I ever actually needed it? No, but it makes me happy to have it. So that's what matters. I also have an amphibian and reptile field guide of just the San Diego area because I grew up in San Diego County, so I've spent a lot of time there. I think I actually got that one at the San Diego Zoo. On this camping trip that we're going on, we're going to the Yellowstone area for part of it. So I ended up getting this field guide for the Yellowstone and Grand Teton area, and it was super highly rated, and I thought, why not? And it's fantastic. It spends a lot of time on pretty much everything you could possibly want in a field guide. It goes over the animal species, a lot of insects, the plants, but it also spends a lot of time on the geology and geothermal features, which was very interesting to me because I'm not very big on geology. I don't know a whole lot about it. I can tell you that's a cool rock over there, but that's pretty much what I can tell you about geology, and that's probably not a great thing, especially since my faculty mentor for my honors project is from the geology department. But, oh well. But the reason why I kind of want to talk about field guides is because if you're going to go out into the wilderness or out into the outdoors, I'm not necessarily saying carry more than 5 pounds of books with you. I think that it's useful to at least have some sort of field guide, especially if you're coming into contact with plants and animals that you may not really recognize. You may want to know if, for instance, if they're poisonous. So you might want to keep a little folding pamphlet of like trees and plants and things. So you know if, oh shit, I just brushed up against a plant, is that poison ivy or poison oak? Well, you can possibly open up your field guide and figure that out. And I do always carry little pamphlet field guides like this whenever I hike. The ones I have are California specific right now because the only places I've been hiking have been California, so it'd be kind of silly for me to carry like a Florida field guide in California, since I don't really anticipate coming upon an alligator anytime in the near future when I'm out hiking in Joshua Tree. Which actually brings us to some of the things that I always have in my backpack. So my hiking bag is just your generic Osprey hiking bag, because everyone evidently carries an Osprey, but I always have a map of some sort. This one's Joshua Tree, since over the winter I did a lot of hiking in Joshua Tree. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because there's a lot of great videos about what you should carry in your day pack by other more experienced than I am. And you can take those for their own value and look at them yourself. But some items that I think that anyone probably should carry, I do want to kind of go over. So I always have my water filter. I just have a Sawyer Squeeze, because after the research I did for the functionality to weight and the space they take up, especially since I just have a little day pack, that seemed the most worth it to me. And I love it. It's come in handy actually on our last hike that we did when we had to ultimately turn back. But you never know when you're going to need a water filter, so it's always better to have one and not need it than need it and not have it, in my opinion. The other things that I always have, even though we never really need them, but it's better to have them, are a compass. You always want a compass and you want to know how to use a compass, especially with the maps you carry. Because you never know when technology is going to fail. If your phone dies for some reason or you break it, you need to have a backup way to navigate so you don't get lost, so you're not absolutely helpless. Also, emergency gear, a little thermal survival blanket, and a poncho. I think that those are musts. They don't take up a lot of space. They're not very heavy, and you'd rather need it and not have it and not need it than need it and not have it. They're just kind of peace of mind things. As well as like my little first aid kit. I've got bandages. I've got some sterile gloves and like alcohol wipes, things like that. Your standard first aid kit things, because I get hurt a lot. I know probably not a whole lot of people do, but I carry a waterproof fire starting kit because, again, this is a day hiking bag, and if I were to go backpacking, I would be more prepared, but for day hiking, I'd like to at least have a way to start a fire if there's an emergency. So I think my aunt and my uncle, as a part of my Christmas present one year, got the waterproof fire starting kit. So I've always been carrying it ever since. Never needed it. Glad I haven't needed it, but I am glad to have it. And then I always have things like gloves and chapstick and little bits and bobs like that. Headlamp or a light source. That is something that you should always have with you, because you never know when you're going to end up hiking at nighttime. And that happened to me on my last hike. So I was very glad to have my headlamp that had fresh batteries in it. So important. I have needed that, and I would have been a panicking mess if I didn't have it, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. The other thing that I carry that I think that a lot of people don't, and it's not a necessity, I like to carry a notebook. This one's completely empty right now, but I like to have something so that if I do see something cool, I can write it down if I think about it. The last few hikes, that hasn't really happened, but I am hoping that on this camping trip we're going on, I'm going to be able to take time and pull out my Yellowstone field guide and sit down and take some more notes. Our whole trip is kind of not super structured, so there should be time to just do whatever and write some notes down. And I find it easier to figure out what that cool thing you saw was if you sit down and look right then. But another big deal of that for me is we're doing this whole camping bingo. My partner and I thought it would be a fun thing to do while we're hiking anyway. So I made some fun bingo cards. I do have some pre-made ones in a PDF that you can find either on my website or the Patreon page. Both things are linked in the description below if you want to go look for it wherever. It's not like a prize or anything, but if you do want to follow along with our little hiking trip over the next couple of weeks, just keep an eye on my Instagram, maybe my Twitter, but definitely my Instagram, and I will be posting photos of things that we see, and if it is something that's on our bingo list, I'll of course put the name there and update. I can't guarantee it will be every single day because again, that depends on my service, that depends on cell reception, all that fun stuff. And since we are going to be out in the middle of nowhere, 50-50 chance if we have reception or not. But it is a fun thing. I do have some pre-made cards that I made, and I do just have the list of plants and animals that went into making those cards if that's something fun that you would want to do. And if you're going to do it, please leave a comment down in the description of this video. Also, if you have anything that you carry with you when you hike that other people may or may not have, leave that in the comments down below. Do you love field guides as much as I do? Do you have any field guides that are super cool that I need to buy now? Leave that in the comment section down below. I'm always interested to find more fun field guides because I have a problem, but it's not one that I want to fix. So I know this was kind of a short, a little bit of a rambly one, but I just wanted to sit and chat with y'all, especially since I'm super jazzed about this camping trip that I've been planning for literally 2 years now. But we'll get into that whole mess probably in vlogs from the trip because we have a lot of driving to do and I will have a lot of rambling to do while we drive. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, afternoon, evening, what have you. Again, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see how the trip goes, and if you want our future videos that are going to have a lot of fun facts about the places that we're going on that trip, please subscribe because that will be exciting. And don't forget to be checking my Instagram and my Twitter for updates for how the trip is going, and let us know if you're playing camping bingo with us because that's just a fun thing to build community, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you would like to see more. And if you'd like to follow me on any of my other social medias, the links are down in the description below. Don't forget to check out thereptilegoth.com for all of my articles and blog posts. If you found any value in this video and you would like to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon page. That link is also in the description down below. And a special thanks goes out to my Diamond Dragon patron, Diane B. What you're doing is really helping me fund a dream here. I will see you guys all in the next one.